All right, let's take a look at some brushes here. I can talk to you guys about the cheapest brushes and maybe the best value ones that you can get if you're looking for a cheap brush. It never usually pays off in the long run to get a cheap brush. So if you're gonna, do any amount of painting, it's better to spend a little bit more money. But if you're like, maybe you're in a situation where you just don't have any money and you want a really cheap brush to do something, I'm going to show you some of the ones that are possibly there. This is a junker from Harbor Freight. These come in a 3-pack. The problem with these cheap brushes, and I'll show you one here. Here's another one that's a Wooster. And I don't think this is a very cheap brush, but it's pretty terrible. Let's take a look at it. This one here is a Wooster. Of course, it's got paint on it. Got paint on there, so now I got paint on my hand. That's never a good thing. You always try and not get paint on your hands when you paint. Say these short handle brushes are pretty much a stay away, but also these really cheap ones are also a stay away as well. Let's take a look at, let me do some painting with this and we'll take a look at it. Why I would not use it. Alright, here's what I've got. I'm just going to go ahead and load it up. It's already loaded up real quick. And if you guys can see, see how the edge is? How it doesn't want to spread, it doesn't want to cut a straight line. Because what happens is when you push on this brush, okay, you push on a little bit, the flag ends bend over, and then, let me get a dry brush and we'll show you. This is like the same type of thing. This cheap brush right here. These little flag ends here will bend over, so your leading edge of the brush won't release paint at the actual where you're trying to paint up to. So I can't even really paint a straight line. You actually can, and I'll show you how you do it. So if you happen to buy a really cheap brush and you still want to be able to paint, if you're a really good painter, you should be able to paint with just about anything. I can paint with anything. It doesn't matter. I can get the worst piece of mop and I can do it. How you do it is you have to wiggle the brush and work your way up to the corner. And you're talking about, a lot of time. And you use just the edge of the brush to kind of release the paint. And, it's gonna fight you. The other thing you can do is you can actually thin the paint down. And that will help as well. When you put too much water in the paint, you can see how this brush just kind of loses its form. It's a really cheap brush, not a very good quality. Pretty much these Wooster ones are kind of a waste of money, but not all Wooster brushes are bad. This is a Wooster brush. I'm going to open this up in a second. We're going to take a look at it. The ones I've used before in a pinch, this one's terrible because see how short the bristles are? If they're that short, it's not going to want to pull a straight line very easily. A longer bristle is going to give you a little bit straighter line when you go to pull it. The ones that you get from Dollar Tree that have the wood handle, if you've ever seen these plastic handles, don't buy, if you look at Home Depot and you're trying to get a cheap brush, don't buy one of these ones that's in a little package with 3 of them. It's just pretty much going to, be a waste of time. I have these brushes for when I'm doing like epoxy and I have a little touch up to do. So sometimes I just use one of these and just toss it in the trash just for a very small amount of work. If I'm doing anything with a larger amount of work, I'm going to use a better brush and I'm going to clean it when I'm done. Now for a little bit more money, you can get one of these Wooster Chinex. Now this is a very small brush and you might say, okay, that brush is way too small. This brush will actually hold and release more paint than this 3-inch brush. This very small brush right here, because of the type of bristle it has, you're still going to be fast if you're doing a smaller job with this brush than right. I had you guys a little bit of a bad angle there. Yeah, just playing around with some paint right now. Real thin brush. I hate brushes that are this small. And on top of that being an angle, I remember back years ago a guy gave me that. That was all the brushes he had. And I was just like, dude, I'm gonna be so slow with this thing. And he goes, oh, it's all right. That's all we got. And I'm like, yeah, what a waste of a day. But plus this paint, I don't know where my wife got this. She bought it to paint, so I don't even know what brand it is. It's not that great. It's kind of sticky. Feels like I have to thin it, but if I do, it's not going to cover. So it's just like, just fight it out, right? Anybody ever been there on that? But anyway, just blowing a little paint on here. Not even in my paint clothes or anything. Just getting rid of this little line. And using this was, like I said, this was a Home Depot purchase. I don't usually buy my brushes there. Kind of an expensive place to buy brushes. You guys can't see that very good, can you? Let's try over here. Well, let's try if we paint right there in the corner. That looks like a good spot. I'll jump around a little bit for you. For me, I wouldn't do that. I'll do it for you guys. So anyway, yeah, there's a little paint wrapped up on the ceiling. I didn't paint this last time. I'm not going to say who. It wouldn't be fair. No, I don't know. It just happens. There was a lot of production going on. Last time I painted this house, we moved in, so it's about time to redo it. Yeah, see those angle tip? That angle tip, what happens is that very end of it starts to not release paint as well. So you're mostly using this much of your brush, and so you're holding and releasing, you have to dip more. So you're just spending more time, and then what happens is you find yourself dragging your brush, which is, when I say somebody's dragging a brush, it means basically that they're leaving a brush mark. You can see through the paint, because I see them do this again. They're going like this with a sash, you know, instead of using with an angle sash, instead of using the brush, you know, the right brush for the job, which would be using a wall brush for this. You know, for this, typically I would use a wall brush. I don't even know if I have any right now. All my brushes are pretty shot, because I don't buy them much. I do everything with a Slim Jim roller. I do color match and wall repair and stuff like that. And I don't even need brushes. So very rarely I'll do an interior or something like that. I was doing some interiors a few months ago, and again, it was stuff that had branding on it that I couldn't show you guys at all. So anyway, let's try this corner so I can keep the light out of the picture. Yeah, it's just so anyway, that's just a little bit about brushes. I hope I helped you guys out. If you need a good cheap little brush, this one's not bad. These aren't too bad. You know, for about $7 you get a real brush versus, you know, one of these other ones was just garbage. Well, what I was going to show you is this. Another one not to buy. Let's look. Oh, this one right here. You never, this is not for painting. People see these and they go, oh wow, I'll just get one of those. It's like these things you don't paint with these. Okay, this is a chip brush, and that's what I want to show too, is just this you do not paint with. I remember I walked into a house, and there was another painter in there, and he had 3 guys using chip brushes to paint staircase, one of those little wood pickets on the staircase. And I was just like, oh wow, nice ropey brush mark there, dude. You know, I didn't say nothing to him because the customer was right there, and he was supposed to be the specialty painter, and we were in there to do, you know, all the grunt work, which is all the walls. We did all the work, and of course they picked our work apart, but his work was perfect, and it had giant brush marks in it. How'd that work out, right? Because I guess I paid him a lot of money. So anyway, that's that for that, guys. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hopefully I can get some more videos out here pretty soon for you. I haven't been putting them out in a while, but we'll do some painting in this little house here. I'm just going to fix up some stuff here. Nothing else to do. We'll do a pandemic talk or something maybe, because that's coming up. You guys, you guys are going to be affected pretty soon, and there's got to be some ideas we can throw out there to help you. All right, talk to you next one.